Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis. Thanks for dropping in. This is my channel, Life, Home, and My Linux Journeys. In this journey, we're going to look at PCLinuxOS. PCLinuxOS is an independent-based distribution, not really based on anything. And I think it's out of Texas, and I'm pretty sure it's Houston, Texas. So, let's get started. Okay, let's go to their web page. This is their homepage right here, PCLinuxOS.com. Yeah, PCLinuxOS.com. If you come here and you want to look at one of their ISOs, the main three are KDE, Mate, and Xfce desktop. Although there are others, there's community releases. Do a series of clicks here, you'll see they have LXQT, OpenBox, the TDE Mini stack, and a Trinity desktop. But I'm interested in the Xfce desktop, so let's click on that. Right here, you could go download locations, but when you click on that, it'll drop you down to the bottom of that page, and you'll see there are torrents available. So if you prefer torrents, you can go here, and you'll see all of them listed here, the community and the default settings. So I'm going to get on Xfce, but there's Trinity, and they're just full of ads. I remember doing this before, and unfortunately, I haven't put Privacy Badger and HTTPS everywhere on here. I don't know if that would stop it, but anyway, here's where you click. I'll close that. Torrent is ready for download. Download torrent file now. Close out of there. Add, and it'll open it up with qBittorrent. Now I'm going to cancel this out. I was just basically showing you how to download it. Let's go back to their home page here. And they have a whole lot of information here, and you know, you can say a lot for minimalism. I mean, all the categories are here. So if you need help us out, get it. Community releases, etc. You can even get merchandise. So that's how we got it right here, installing it. We are going to go through this. Let me go back to the home page here. Like I said, I covered this back in October of last year, and this actually made it on my list to install the hardware. Unfortunately, I haven't had that opportunity yet, but it is going to make it. My installation here and look around in PCLinuxOS has convinced me to go ahead and install this on some hardware and start actually using it. Let's minimize this. Let's bring up Oracle VirtualBox. Now, I've already got it set up right here, and it's installed under UEFI mode. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and set up a new one. And the reason why I'm going to show you this, because I found a really good article. We're going to call this 3, just for the heck of it. Now, Linux is good here, but we're going to change this to Debian 64. Now, I tried it before that, just selecting the Linux 64, and the installation failed. So, use Debian 64. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 gigabytes of RAM. Say OK. Now we're going to use UEFI mode, so I'm going to give it 66.5 gigabytes for that. We're going to create it. Now let's go to settings. Go ahead and set this up. Give it 2 cores of my processor. Motherboard, we're going to turn the floppy down and off. We're going to enable EFI. Under display, we're going to turn that all the way up. And we're going to use the VBox SVGA. Under storage, click on the add button. Go find PCLinuxOS. The November 21 release. Say OK, and we should be good as gold. Let's click the start button. First screen is here. You're going to get to boot into the live UEFI mode or no boot splash, mode setting, safe mode, or copy to RAM. Now, copy to RAM is a little slower, but once it gets copied, it is fast. But I'm going to go ahead and just boot up normally because I think most people will do that. If you don't do anything, it'll select it anyway. I think it was like 10 seconds there. Wasn't really paying a lot of attention. And you'll find that the guest editions are already installed on the ISO. Let's see if I enlarge this. Drag my mouse, you see my mouse goes through it and out. So that tells you the guest editions are there. First option there should be our keyboard. It's correctly selected US keyboard. I'm going to click on next. And it's going to go into full screen. So we'll go ahead and right Control F to get into full screen. The installer is going to be on the desktop. I'll double click that. This is the Drac Live install. We're going to say next. First thing we're going to be faced with is partitioning our disk. So our disk is right here, and we're going to use custom disk partitioning. I don't know how they would lay it out, but I like doing it myself. I recommend you do it yourself. I'll say next. Here's your hard drive. I'm going to click on that and say create. Now, one thing, they still have the slider. I want this to be 512. That's that half a gig that I allocated for it. Mount space is going to be /boot EFI. We're not going to encrypt it. Left click on the free space, say create. And here we're going to give it 6144 for a swap. I do not like this method. Oh, I had it close. Pause. I do believe if I'd have clicked on expert mode, I would have had, I could have just typed it in. Almost. All right, 6 gigs of swap. That's what we're going to call it. Linux swap. No mount point. Say OK. Left click on the free space. And I'm going to give it about 20 gigs. Close enough. ext4. And this will be / indicating root directory. Say OK. Left click. Free space. Say create. Drag this all the way to the end. ext4 is right. We're going to select /home. We're not going to encrypt it, although if I install this on a laptop, which has a good possibility, I will encrypt it. So, okay. All right, so now ext4 is the mount point. Wait a minute. Bit. You're kidding. Here we go. Maybe. Next. Choose the mount points. SDA3, that's going to be / SDA4 / home. That's correct. All data will be. Okay, so it's formatting our partitions. Should be mounting them. And the installation now is on the way. So, I'm going to right Control F to get out of full screen. Slide this over to here. Slide this over to here if it'll let me. Keep track of where we're at. Let's go back to their web page. Their home page here, under help, find installing it. We just went through this. That's both legacy BIOS, UEFI mode. Shows you how to go through this. This is where we're at right now. Installing it to our computer. Still running. Setting up a bootloader. This will be our next screen. We're going to use Grub2 with a graphical menu, just like they're showing here. Now you can go Grub2 with a text menu. You can change the boot up time from 10 seconds. I was right a while ago, 10 seconds to 5 seconds. And install Grub. And then I think that's it. Yep, reboot. Now to update PCLinuxOS, they actually recommend that you use Synaptic. And you can use Synaptic to adjust your mirrors and do your updates. They've walked through on how to do that. However, they do offer the command line for the ones that just really want to use command line to update. I have actually done it sometimes and found there's a difference in the synaptic package update and this update command line. I'm not sure that's going to be an issue now, but they do show you that you can use a command line. They do warn you though, do not use apt-get upgrade, use apt-get dist-upgrade. All right, how do you install software? Well, they want you to do an update first and then apt-get install FileZilla in this case, or Firefox or whatever. And you can do a search by apt-get search, apt-cache search. I'm sorry, apt-cache. Did I write that down in my notes? Apt-get update, yeah. The search for packages, apt-cache search, and then the package name. This is the information that I had on the first video. Let's see. Oh, I had it down here too. File sync, DVD copy, menu item. Again, they warn you not to use apt-get upgrade, use apt-get dist-upgrade. But apt-cache, app-cache is how you search. On DistroWatch, they list them as independent, based in the United States, and they're ranked at 18, which is pretty good, but it could be a lot better than that. And this is one of those distributions why it leaves me asking myself, how come it's only 18? This should be right up there. Definitely above some others that I'm not going to name, but definitely above some others. All right, so here we are at the boot screen. We'll just leave it in this mode here. Let's go grab it. We're going to use the graphical menu versus the text. We're going to use the EFI system partition. I'm going to change the boot delay to 5 seconds. Now, under advanced, I cover these in my first video, and I'll go ahead and put them in either as titles here or in the show notes. Click OK. We're going to say next. This will take just a minute, but once this is through, we'll be at the stage where it was talking about just reboot. Let's go back. Installing. Yep, please halt your computer, remove your live CD, and restart your computer. That's where we'll be at when this gets through. Well, PCLinuxOS, splash screen, probe for foreign OS. If you was dual booting, this would be very important. Under advanced, you got do not touch the ESP, EFI system partition, or the master boot record, video mode. I'm going to cancel that. I don't want to change any of that. I'm going to say finished. Bootloader is now actually installing. And the next screen should say power off, reboot, move to ISO. I thought I'd look at some of these notes here. Menu item, there in the installer there. And looks like it's getting close to being something finished here. Wonder, see what H top important. All right, we got the finish button. Please click finish, shut down your computer, remove the USB flash drive, and reboot. So we're going to finish. Go here and see if we got a power off. We do. Say shut down. Unmounting the file system. Now let's go to settings, storage, and like I thought, it removed it. So you really didn't have to do anything except reboot. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and boot into this fresh one that we just installed, just to get through, show you what you're going, how to add your user and your password. Here we got a 5-second delay, so that part worked. And again, we're going to have guest edition. So I'm going to go ahead and right Control F to get in a full screen. See our mouse. And it'll fool you. It'll just sit there and then all of a sudden it'll pop up. So anyway, it's time zone. It's correctly selected central is where I'm at. Say next. Now I'm going to use UTC time, Universal Time Code. I'm going to automatically set it here and I'm going to select North America and say United States and say next. So that'll take care of our clock when we boot up. Next, we should be asked for a root password, I believe. There we go. Set an administrator or a root password and confirm it. We got the authentication methods here that it goes over. This is pretty nice information right here. And before in my other video, I had what each one of these does. And I'll try to include that here or in the notes. Okay. So we're going to use local file, which is all good. Next. Now we're going to give a real name, capital Dennis. Login name will be Dennis. Password will be listed right here. And let's see if we can change our icon. Oh, cool. You don't get options, but you can scroll through them. Oh, I like that one. How do I go back? Come on. Sunflower was pretty too. Astronaut. Come on, guitars up close. There we go. I believe that means we got a program called Mugshot installed. Wouldn't swear to it. All right, so I'm going to click on my username, give it my password, and we're going to boot in. You see you had a lot of options right there as well. More, I think, than the normal. And there's our menu. There's our beautiful Xfce desktop. So let's see. Let's go H-top just real quick. This is on a fresh boot, nothing installed, not even doing any upgrades or updates at this point. 368 megabytes. Wow. So let me go ahead and shut this down. Shut this one down. That's how you install PCLinuxOS. Very interesting installation process. I very much liked it. So let me go here and I'm going to boot up the one that I've already installed. Go ahead and save a second or two there by hitting enter. And you'll see when I get into here, I've already changed the menu out to a whisker menu. I've done some customizations. I've added favorites. I've added some programs that I personally consider essential, such as OBS Studio, Kdenlive, Simple Screen Recorder. Click on my name, give it my password. Featherpad, I prefer that over Mousepad, and I know there's other text editors and probably better. Okay, so I've got this customized, the session menu. I really don't like that part of it. Let me do this. Change that to custom. Say close. Now we got the session menu. I've already edited. The only thing that's listed is shut down, restart, and log out. Now on a laptop, that could be different. We got the clock here. I believe this is the Xfce panel clock. Let's see, I wonder. Nope, they took it out. Last time they had the Arise, last year they had the Arise panel clock. Notifications, we should have audio mixer and we should have sound right out of the box. Yes, sir. Go over here, system sounds. I've already done all this. I'm not in the other one. Up here, I got a network manager, trafficker. It tells me what kind of traffic we got. Here's your network manager. I got the whisker menu set up in here, and under my favorites, this is things I consider essential. I have disk utility. Go ahead and open that up. Under favorites, we got OBS Studio. We got Kdenlive, which is 13 or 12.083, I believe, 2108.3, which I think this was probably their newest version. This is the one that broke my Kdenlive on Ghost, or not Ghost, yeah, Ghost probably, and FreeBSD. Oh, got Kdenlive. Favorites, I got Audacity. And this is Audacity. This is the, I'm not sure, I wouldn't swear it's the absolute newest, but this is version 3 point something, and I believe this is reputed apt update changes, staying up to date in order to protect your privacy. Does not collect any personal information. However, app update checking does require network access. See our privacy policy for more. You can turn off app update checking at any time. Now that is nice. This first time I've seen this screen. This is nice. And so they are aware that people do not like them spying, and you have the option to turn that off. That is awesome. Thank you. Yep, version 3.1.2. I'm going to tell it not to show me that no more. And there we go. There's Audacity. And there's disk utility. Let's see, is there an about? Nope. Drive settings. Pretty nice. I had to install that, by the way, and they do not have GNOME System Monitor available, but they do have KSysGuard. And if you'll notice, there's a couple tabs missing that are normally seen on KSysGuard. One of them is like about, and the other one is tells you file systems. System load. Less than a half a gig. This thing is remarkable. 18, this thing should be on up there. Got Krita, system, simple screen recorder, CPU-X. Okay, under archiving, we got free file sync, GR sync, real-time sync, time shift, and X archiver. All really nice utilities. Configuration, you can configure your computer here. This is their own settings panel, if you will. Settings manager, control center, install, remove hardware. That would open up Synaptic, I'm sure. There you got some more options for sharing FTPs and configure your web server. Network services, got configure DHCP, configure DNS, configure the time. If the time was wrong, 9:42, that is correct. Hardware. So a lot of very useful utilities. Set up UPS power for power monitoring. That would be on a laptop, would be awesome. Mouse and keyboard under the system. Manage system services, localization. You got to give it to PCLinuxOS. This is a nice control center. It offers some really nice options. Security, set up your personal firewall. And I think I did that in the last video, so I won't do it in this one. And since it is in a VM, I probably won't do it at all. I think I did it last time just to demonstrate how easy it was. Under boot, you can change your boot here. Set up display manager, GNOME or XDM. Right now it's set at GDM. I'm going to leave it just like that and say cancel out and close this out. That is their PCLinuxOS control center. Nice. Got printer support available already. Hardware information. I installed this. This is hard info. Tells you a lot of stuff about your system. A lot of good stuff. Network manager. Redo bootloader. Settings editor. Which this is your typical Xfce settings manager or editor. Let's see. Configuration. Now, one thing I really like is the fact that they make a way for you to install VirtualBox with just a click. There it is, installed in a VirtualBox. And it's telling me there's a new version available, so it checked for updates, which I hadn't updated this since yesterday, I believe, so there may be an update available right now. Under preferences, let's see what we got here under extensions. So you do have the extension pack, that's the very important one right there. Pretty nice. Let's see where was that at? Let's see. Oracle Box. Nope. Software Center. Yeah. VirtualBox Manager. You click on that, follow a couple steps, and boom, there it is. This is the Synaptic Package Manager, and this is how they recommend you update and change your mirrors. Although there should be a mirror. Well, there was in the old one. Could have been here and disappeared. How do you search for packages? Click on search, type in whatever you're looking for, and it'll bring it up. There's Zero AD, a game that's making a pretty good name for itself. So this is where you would change your mirrors. Let's see. Indiana, Princeton. Now it's coming out of, doesn't say NLUUG Netherlands. I hope not. You could change that. Pick one that you're either familiar with or one that you can see is close, like Princeton I just saw. That's all you have to do to change those. Synaptic's a great package manager, by the way. If I had to use one all the time, that's probably the one I would prefer. Okay, let's go back into their menu here under configuration. We had the NTFS. That's Windows configuration right there. So you could mount a NTFS formatted USB drive. Under editors, we got the feather pad that I just opened. Let's see, I wonder, does it have unspell by default installed? Spell checker does not. Start spell checker. I'm sure it's available. Yep, not installed. Just a simple matter of installing it. All right, back to the menu under editors. You can open mousepad up as root or mousepad. Under file tools, we get the application finder, which is basically a menu. And let's see, file tools. We got bleach grid as root. That's deleting all the cache that you don't need, and history, and clean up your system some. Catfish file search, which I thought that came in with the Mate desktop, but I may be wrong on that. Let's see what it says. Is there about it? About the catfish. Nothing about Mate, but I could have swore this was that's a default Mate DD copy. I'll put a description of that in the titles. DD copy, that's excellent. Gparted is excellent. My Live USB. Now, this is one thing where they put themselves one step above a lot of other people. They make it possible for you to boot into a live USB and basically copy or build a ISO based on your system, all your configuration files, all your preferences, all the software, notes. I don't care what it is. It will take that image and convert it over to an ISO. And so if you had to restore your system off of a USB, that would do it. That would put it back exactly the way it was when you created it. What an awesome feature is that, to be built in and readily available. You don't see this often. PCman FM, I asked for that. It's down here. I put it in dock 2. PCman FM, there's VirtualBox. Thunar, and Thunar is root. Under games, we get Owlright. And sound works right out of the box. All right. That was under games, graphics. We got Krita, Xfce4. GIMP comes in by default, I believe. Blender is available. Internet, we got AnyDesk, which most of these are going to be for file sharing in between different computers. AnyDesk is what that does. Got Firefox as a default web browser. Gigalo, mail reader, MegaSync cloud storage by default, Nitro Share. Now you can uninstall some of this stuff. Now Zoom, I found out, is already installed. All you have to do is open it up and sign into your account. And like I said, some of this stuff, like Gigalo, I'll never use it. Mail reader, I'll never use that. I'll probably get rid of it. I will get rid of it when I install on my real machine, real hardware. CPUX is available. HTOP, I'll install that. KSysGuard, VirtualBox, Sensor View. Task Manager, Terminal as root, Xkill. So if you had a program, let's see, just open up Xkill. Just click on that, click on the box that you want to kill, and you're done. Nice, nice. Got the full suite of LibreOffice installed by default. You got a character map. You need to, if you got a keyboard that's got some special key setting on there, I believe that's how you would change that. Under Software Center, we have LibreOffice Manager, Localization Manager, Synaptic Package Manager, and the VirtualBox Manager, which after you've installed VirtualBox, you probably right-click on that and say hide it. Under Sound, I asked for Audacity, Celluloid, Deaf Beef came in, MPV came in, Parole come in, Pythos come in, Pulse Audio Volume Control come in, Simple Screen I added, Simple Screen Recorder, Spotify, that came in by default, Video Downloader, let's see, is this, there's no about Video Downloader, yeah, so it's probably a graphical front end for YouTube -DL, I believe it is. Under Sound, again, I think we covered that. VLC come in by default. Under Video, I asked for Celluloid, Kdenlive, OBS, Simple Screen Recorder. Handbrake came in by default. MPV Player, Parole Media Player, Video Downloader, and VLC Media Player. So let's go to their settings panel. Under Appearance, and I haven't added any of this. This is all come in so far by default. You've limited on your icon set. I like their Le Capitaine. Under Fonts, you can change any of that. Under Settings, we have Enable Sounds. Let's see. Screensaver, I have all that turned off, although it does work. Lock screens, all turned off. Oh, we got, for things that are new, we have XF dashboard settings. Sound, that's not normally in control panel, which is nice. Movable drives, that's a plus. Sometimes it's not in the session or settings control panel. Session and startup, default applications, where you can select which application you want to be by default. Web browser here, Mozilla Thunderbird is the default mail reader. If I click on other, can't select none. Under utilities, we have Thunar. We could use PCMan FM, Xfce terminal, and others. So you could go in here and set whatever application you want to open up a text file, for instance, to open up that by default. That's a nice feature as well. Clipboard Manager. I don't use a clipboard, so I'm not really up to it. I think that's going to do it for this video. PCLinuxOS, I highly recommend it. Just put it in a VirtualBox, use Debian 64 or Linux Debian 64. Use UEFI or BIOS mode, either one works just fine. Play with it. See if everything you need will work. Now, I am in a VirtualBox, so I can't really tell you if the printer works. I'm not even going to try to hook it up in a VirtualBox, but this will be going on one of my machines, and I'll tell you more about printing at that point. So, thank you once again for watching. I'll catch you on another video. Peace out, y'all. Be kind to everybody. Bye.